Hi, guys.
Hello.
So today the question is, why is the thought of weight loss so intimidating? Sana and I have embarked a weight loss journey, and we are in a weight loss challenge with 4 other people. We're kind of doing it for a pretty long period of time. It'll be 16 weeks, and at the end of the 16 weeks, whoever has lost the most weight gets money.
Yeah, so we're doing it like a Biggest Loser type of way.
Yes, it is. It is a Biggest Loser. And we do weigh in every week.
Yes.
Every week we weigh in. Every week we share our either weight loss or weight gain with everybody else in the group.
Yes.
I think it's easy, or maybe not easy, but it is simple enough to say, let's start this.
Well, I think that the protocol where you go through like just meal prepping and exercising, if you really think about it, it's easy. It's doable. Everybody can do it. You cook anyways. You could exercise. Well, I guess that's hard if you don't exercise.
Yes.
And then suddenly you have to think, I have to go and exercise.
And to me, a lot of the times, the hard part is, where do I find the time to plug this in? Where do I find the time to say, okay, now I'm going to take 15, 20, 30 minutes to exercise?
Yeah. And a lot of people do it differently, because I have a friend, she does her bicycle exercise, her riding, while she's reading, right? While she's going to do her homework. Something that where she was still going to have to do it. But now she added this exercise to it. But I think it's more getting out of your head.
Yeah, and I was going to say, is it mental? Am I purposely making an excuse?
Yes. And at the end of the day, I feel that we are. I feel that the thought of just when you're say, I'm going to start a weight loss challenge, when we're talking about this and we were thinking of stuff, what would motivate us to lose this weight? And for some reason we thought money.
So, which, really quick, I have done something like this before.
Yes.
I've done it a few times at work. You have as well.
Yeah, I have.
The difference is that you won.
I did win.
I did not. I used to like joining because it would allow me to keep the weight off. Because while we were doing it, I wouldn't gain weight. And hopefully I'd lose a few pounds. But I don't know that I've ever really... I don't even know how the word to use, but I've never really said, okay, I'm doing this.
Okay.
And I think that's the hard part. Why not? Like, is it because we've been conditioned to love what we already love? Like, I love carbs, or I love...
Well, I think that's also mental. You kind of like think, oh, well, I can stop eating. I can't.
Yeah. Or why not just change the way we eat? Exactly. Why not just say, now I'm going to become this healthy eater forever?
But thinking about it, just sitting down and thinking like, oh, I'm going to have to go buy this food. I'm going to have to prepare it differently. I'm going to have to, right there, just those words, I'm going to have to do this.
Like, I was just telling you this. I spend hours cooking.
Yeah.
And I feel drained by it. I feel like, I almost dread it. Like, now I'm going to have to meal prep again. And do some people love it? Maybe some people love it.
I think some people do. I can't imagine, with meal prepping, I just can't imagine eating the same thing every day.
And then that is so hard. To me, that's a hard one. I hate eating the same thing every day.
But if you think about it, like anything, of course, there's easier ways, right? I could buy a rotisserie chicken. I can shred it. I can make a salad for Monday. I can eat it with something else on Tuesday. Like, you could make it easier.
But if you're now doing it for, let's say you're going to have everybody join. So you're doing it for yourself, you're doing it for your son, you're doing it for your daughter.
Yeah.
So you're doing it for 3 people. That rotisserie chicken is going to last you 1 meal.
I think it can
How
make
big
it last.
How big is this darn rotisserie chicken?
They're big. But you could make it easier. I'm saying that it's not the end of the world. Like, things that we see hard could be made easier. It's just we focus on the harder.
It's easier for the people with money that have enough money to have someone cook for them.
Oh, yes.
Or they buy their prepped meals. Yeah. Or if you're my husband, which just has his meals prepped already by me.
Yes.
You know?
We need a wife.
Yeah, yes.
To come and cook. But it is a possibility. I think most of the time it's just that thought of, oh, this is going to be so hard. Because at the end of the day, gaining weight is not hard.
No.
It's eating fast food is cheaper.
Yes.
It's easier to grab a bag of chips. It's easier to grab a bread. It's all that is easy. But then don't they say that everything worthwhile is hard?
Gonna take longer. And I think at one point, and we might have in one of our episodes talked about this with Mercy, with our sister, and she talked about how a lot of this is also mental, right?
Yes.
There's issues in our head that we have this relationship with food. I consider myself a food lover. I think we're all very much food lovers.
Yeah.
Like we enjoy eating a good meal.
Yeah.
But why? Why does that enjoyment have to come from a meal? We definitely...
And from bad meals. Like stuff that
but
is
even now,
fatty.
like, we definitely don't... How do they say you're supposed to live... No, you're supposed to eat to live.
Yeah.
And we live to eat.
Yes.
You know, so why is it that way? There's literally times, and I'm sure that is not normal, that is not healthy. There is times where most of my day is taken up by thoughts of food.
Yeah.
Like where I can honestly say that if I had to like take all my thoughts, it's going to be hours of thinking about food, of what I can eat, what I can't eat, why can I eat it, what I'm craving, what I wish I could have. Like there's, so many things like that's not.
But even,
I mean, maybe it's normal. Maybe a lot of people do it, but is like, I don't know.
But even dieting, you're going to take a lot of time to think of what you're going to eat. But I am definitely a stress eater. And I was explaining this to my mom, especially in the last couple of weeks where I've had a lot of stress or anxiety of like, things that have to be done. I know that I'm eating. And my mom said something like, I cannot imagine why would people eat because they have anxiety. She goes, I used to have anxiety. And I'm all like, well, that cigarette was pretty good, right? Like every time you had anxiety, you lit it up.
Oh, I would say, I truly believe, and kids don't go out and start smoking, but I truly believe that I would be a lot thinner if I smoked.
But then our cousin who's in the weight loss challenge, she is a smoker.
She is a smoker.
But she's also an eater. So does have to eat.
So then why is she eating?
She feels that it's stress.
I don't know that I'm eating over stress.
I feel that you're not eating out of hunger, and once again, we grew up poor.
Yes.
So we have this thing but I'm craving it. The first thing that I bought with my paycheck when I had like a job, a real job, because we had little, cash jobs, but like a real job, like, oh my God, I have a paycheck. And I found out that people can buy a cake for no reason. You go to Ralph's and there's these
have
cakes.
To be your birthday.
And I was like, I can just buy a cake and it doesn't say happy birthday. And it does. I bought a cake. That was the first thing I bought with my paycheck. And you think, why? Because you have this, how can I not crave something? And I feel that we crave everything.
Yes.
Because
I have been told, and some people think it like, because I have also been told that like, oh my God, I love to see you eat because you eat like everything is so delicious. But I also eat like it's my last meal. And I think that has a lot to do with growing up without certain things.
Yeah.
And so now eating is like, no, I'm going to make sure that I enjoy every single thing that I eat because
and you can't throw it away. Right?
Because
oh my God, if I throw it away, like, what if, that's just not right? And what if I'm hungry later and I don't get to have this?
Well, I do also remember that for a while, and you've struggled with your weight longer than I've struggled with mine. Forever. But I remember for a while that was your thing. You're like, I'm gonna eat it because what if I die? And it was definitely a weird way to think. But then you would go and eat the ice cream, or you'd eat the cake.
Yeah. Or like, what if I'm not here tomorrow and I didn't enjoy this?
And you're also more, I don't know that that's necessarily me, because this would always bug me.
Yeah.
It would always bug me that you would have these tiny meals.
Oh, but I love
She
sweets.
would have this tiny meal, but then you saw her eat half a cake.
And I could eat
cake. And I won't. I'll have a couple bites of cake, but I'm going to eat like this huge meal.
You're more like savory. No, like my thing is like cake, chocolate, ice cream, anything sweet.
And now that I'm getting older, and now in this new chapter of my life, I'm definitely more of a sweets person. I crave chocolate, which I never did before. Things like that.
Or meat. I crave a lot of meat now. Maybe I might have an iron deficiency, but I do crave meat all the time. It is a relationship with food. At the end of the day, it's a mental relationship with food, because either way that you see it, your body's not naturally hungry.
Yeah, or at least we're not waiting until we're naturally hungry.
Yeah.
And to me, one of the big ones is that we're not stopping when we're naturally full.
Exactly.
Like, you can be full and you're going to eat again, or you're going to eat more, you're going to finish it because you can't have leftovers, or, you know, stuff like that. So
it is that relationship and letting it go. And I have always been on diets. We've always tried these weird, I've tried everything there is to try.
Yes, you have.
And but I did lose, before being pregnant with my daughter, 100 pounds.
Yeah, I remember.
So of course,
and
I
that
also
was
know
more,
that it's possible.
And that was more medical. I remember you.
Yeah.
It was like something, you started feeling sick, and then boom, you were like, and that's
and I get really scared when I feel sick.
And when you commit, like, you were like, okay, the problem is not gaining it back.
Exactly.
And I think that's at the point where I'm at. Like, I was very fortunate where I didn't struggle with weight until I was in my probably mid-20s.
Yeah.
And which is still pretty young, but you know, I as a teenager, as you know, even after having my son,
and you could eat and you wouldn't gain that weight.
I was very thin, and I ate the way I eat now.
Yeah.
And everyone always said it's gonna catch up to you, and it did. It caught up to me. I'm at the point where I want to lose the weight and not worry about it anymore. I want it to be gone.
Yeah.
I think we're probably both. I mean, yeah, we want to look like J-Lo.
And we're not.
But we're at the point in our lives where we can accept that we're not going to look like her. And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's just being
comfortable,
somewhat satisfied with our bodies.
Yeah.
And keeping it that way. I feel like, I don't want to have to worry about this anymore. But the thing is that in order to not worry about it, we'd have to change our lifestyles for forever.
But it's also making it a routine and wanting it. I feel like last year with everything that went on of the virus and everything, I felt like it made me understand the need for me to supplement and to have vitamins, and for my children to have vitamins. And because I understood it and I believed in it, that's something that I can't imagine now giving up. To me, that's a big deal of our day. Like, I have to take certain vitamins at certain time. I have to make sure the kids have like the best organic, all this, whatever, you know, like.
So then why not just change your eating patterns at the same time?
I have to it has to start with my thoughts before it becomes an action. Like, I have to literally this is it. I'm sick and tired of this. I need to do this, or I need to exercise, and I need to learn how to love it.
I gave up dairy now 2 years ago, and it has, after quarantine, it has slowly crept back into my life, but in very small portions. And that was not a problem. I literally gave it up from one day to another, cold turkey. But I feel with weight loss, it would entail so much more.
But because we're seeing it that way, right?
Yes.
Like,
and even with working out, I did spin for... for like 11 months I did spin. I think one of the problems was probably that I didn't see a result weight-wise. But I did see a change in my body. Yeah. And I did like it. I did have fun with it.
Yeah.
I did it with a friend. So I really enjoyed it. But it meant coming home at 9:30, 9:45 at night. Like, and I leave my house at 8 in the morning. It meant not being home at all. Coming home to go to sleep. And I don't think that I can do that. I don't think I can say I'm going to give up time with my family or in my home in order to work out.
But I think the same way that I do like a budget with my money, and I have to, take in consideration, where am I spending this money? How much money do I have coming in? You have to do it with your time. You literally have to write down your days. You literally have to write down what your wants and needs are. There is time. You either wake up earlier, or you do it at lunchtime. You eat something smaller, or you do a 30-minute walk, or you do a 15-minute walk. There's always that possibility. But I feel like we don't focus on the possibility. We focus on
what we can't do.
It's not gonna happen. It's too challenging. Well, it is challenging, right? We want to get something. We want to undo
30
years
yeah.
of something that
of bad eating,
happened. And not only physically, I'll be honest. Physically, I want to, and I always say, At this point, I'm only trying to look good with clothes on. With clothes off, sorry. There's other things, you'll be okay. Like, you ain't gonna care. Physically, there's a lot of things that I'm losing. I need to lose 100 pounds again. And losing that, my skin's not gonna suddenly go back to, shape, and it doesn't have that collagen, and there's gonna be loose skin, but I wanna
even on your face, like sometimes you see people who lose a lot of weight
We're
and
gonna
all of a
look
sudden they
older.
look so old.
Yes.
So like maybe it's better just to stay a little plump.
So I go, I want to physically like myself with clothes on. I want to enjoy putting clothes on.
Even shopping, because it's so hard.
It is hard. And then I want to feel like like now with everything that's going on, the first thing they say is, if you're overweight, this can get you.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in that club anymore. Like, I don't want, or thinking, am I going to get a stroke? Am I going to have a heart attack?
I think even the thought of, I wonder if I was 20 pounds lighter, how much better I would feel. Not mentally, but physically.
Yeah, am I going to not be able to breathe? I have asthma, so I might not.
But that's probably your weight.
Exactly. So is that going to go away when the weight goes away, you know? Mm-hmm. And then you do see these people that exercise and they're always like, I feel good.
Yes. And oh my gosh, don't you, but see, I hate that. Like, don't you feel great after a workout? Like, no, I don't.
I was sore for like 2 days.
Yeah. And they're like, exercise in the morning because it gives you so much energy. No, it makes me tired. Really, really tired.
It does make me sleepy. I can sleep really good after
because
that.
we're out of shape. Are they not taking that into consideration? Maybe it's these people that they're
already thin.
Yeah, I should ask my husband how he feels after a workout. Yes. He's probably like, great. So much energy.
He's also competitive. Like,
yes, like now, like he wants to join the weight loss challenge and he can't,
Well, he should, because he would lose, because the percentage, I'm sure, is not gonna.
It's gonna be harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some people would frown upon that as well. We both have our children in the weight loss challenge.
Because they are teenagers, and my son is very much overweight. My bad eating habits are the whole house bad eating habits. Because if I need to have cookies in the house, then we all have cookies in the house. If I have bread, we all have bread. So my son I need him to learn that right now
is the time.
Because it's going to get harder afterwards. And it also, I've always been, and looking back at pictures, no, I wasn't. I can say no, I was not fat.
No.
I was just maybe thicker than whatever else was going on and everyone else. But it comes with a lot of things. Sadly enough, it comes with depression. It comes with low self-esteem. It comes with hating.
It comes with, unfortunately, how other people view you. Yeah. I mean, it's at the end of the day, that's the truth.
And caring.
We can't change that. We can't change the fact
we can change not caring. That would be, I would say, at this age, I don't care what other people.
But at this age, no one's gonna make fun of you.
Exactly.
That would be ridiculous,
But,
But unfortunately, in school,
for teenagers,
school age,
for my son, yes.
That is, you are going to be looked at as the fat kid.
And he was. And he was. And I'm glad for this virtual learning that's something that even his friendships have become stronger, because they're not focusing on
his looks.
Oh, look at you're so fat. How can you like football? You can't run. You can't do this. You can't do that. And it's very heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It is.
And to me, that has always been my thing, because my children haven't really suffered with weight. They both have been in they have their stages, when they're a little chunkier, but they've never been. They would never be considered overweight.
Yeah.
And to me, it was a big deal to make sure to maintain it that way. I always have had more of a made sure that my kids have healthier eating habits.
Yes.
And because I didn't want my kids to go through that. I didn't. And I've never been obsessed to the point where I'm like, no, you've got to be this size or anything.
No.
But I just wanted to make sure there's already so much that you have to struggle with.
Yeah.
I don't want to add something else to that. I think now, where my daughter's at, and a lot of it has to do with the situation we're in, with staying at home, not going to school, not wearing your clothes, not exercising as much as you should. So she did gain quarantine weight.
Yeah.
And so now it's just, look, you're young enough, just do it.
Just
tackle it
back.
now, nip in the bud, and get rid of it.
But
and
also
don't struggle with it.
And it also comes with don't do as I say, do as I do, or whatever, however that goes. I'm so bad with that.
Do as I say, not as I do.
No, but I want it backwards. I want my kids.
No, because I'm not gonna stop drinking, and I don't want my kids to drink.
And that's the thing. I feel like with anything else, I stopped bad relationships because at the end of the day, I didn't want my children to think that that was healthy and that was right. I went back to school because I wanted to be able to say, when I say like, you need to graduate from college, that I have a degree. You know, you have to have it. With food too. Like with vitamins, that's what I always tell them. I drink it, look it, we're not sick, right? Okay, then you have to take it.
And I feel like food is a little different because with food, it's a meal. You're not going to say, look, I'm going to sit here and eat cake, but you can't eat it.
I have done it.
But with vitamins, because, you know, my kids have always taken vitamins, and I've yet to take a supplement.
And you need to. That's where you need to do
But to me, it's like, do as I say, not as I do. It's just more like, my job is to take care of you.
But the thing is that we take care of our kids' weight loss for health reasons too, and we don't realize that if we don't take care of ourselves, our kids are left with nobody.
Which is true. Yeah, that's true.
So why do you want to also give them a healthy version of you so they understand what a healthy version is? Because I want my kids to be like, oh, and I always tell them when I carry like the gallons of water, if you're not able to carry a gallon of water at this age, I'm going to kick your ass. Or if you marry a woman who cannot carry a gallon of water, we're going to have serious problems. That's going to be the test of whoever he dates.
And we're talking the 5 gallons.
Yes, the 5 gallon. Don't come with me with a gallon. I'm going to be like, girl, can you change this water gallon? So it comes to a point where you don't even have to tell them that they have to do it. They're just like, hey, that's just how it is. And
I do believe that will happen.
It does. I think it does happen like that. But yeah, it's something that we struggle with so much.
And why? And the other thing is that we want instant results.
Of course,
we want to see, and that's a real hard one for me.
It doesn't happen.
If I feel like I tried, this week I did not lose even an ounce.
Not even an ounce.
I didn't gain an ounce, but
even though they're not ounces.
Even though they're not, yeah. But I didn't gain anything. But then I feel like, but I gave this up, or I gave this up, or I gave this up. Like, why didn't I lose
But
weight?
you know what? We're also, and then I think we don't do enough stuff to keep us, like, cheering ourselves on. Why are we
did it for one day. And my whole rule, guys, I did, I'm kind of in charge of this.
You're the least motivational texter on this thing.
I'm in charge of this, but one of my things was, like, let's all motivate each other.
Yeah. She's not. I think it's on purpose.
I think we did it one day, and then we never did it again, and that's the other hard thing too.
But the thing is, trying to keep motivating ourselves. Like, why don't we measure our inches to ourselves, right? To be like, at least I lost
inches.
This, you know. At least I lost the pant size, like,
or
size.
maybe be like, oh, I noticed that my
pants, socks are loose.
I kind of felt like my pants were a little tighter. Maybe I'm gaining muscle.
It's a water weight because you've increased your water.
And then you didn't. I did. But then I probably drank enough to dehydrate myself.
Well, I read something and I'll share with you guys. And it says, it takes 4 weeks for you to notice a change. We're barely on the second one.
True. We're only on week 2 and it takes 4 weeks.
Yes.
For us
to personally notice a change.
Okay.
It takes 8 weeks for your friends to notice a change.
Oh my gosh.
So
what kind of friends are these?
It takes 12 weeks for the rest of the world to notice. It takes 1 day to decide that you are enough. And at the end of the day, it is about how you feel about yourself.
It's really only about what we notice, right?
Yes,
not what everybody else knows. Because I'm already thinking, is my husband under the friends category, or is he under the rest of the world category?
No, I wonder. I'm curious to see what is his reaction to you losing weight,
and what is his idea of me losing weight, because I've never asked that either. I know that he's really on board with this, but
I'm sure he's right. Like, yes.
But does he? But in his head, is he thinking I'm gonna lose 20 pounds, or in his head is he thinking I'm gonna lose 50 pounds?
I think he's to me, I don't know. I've never really asked. I will never ask him how much he thinks I weigh, because I feel that he is the kind of person that's like, oh, you're like 400 pounds. So I feel that in his head, you need to lose like 150 pounds.
As soon as he saw my weight, like the the initial one, he's like,
was he surprised?
he's all, you're like in the 200 club.
Even if you would have been 140, I think he would have said.
Yeah, so you weigh that much. And we were talking about this earlier when we weighed ourselves the first time. Then, we were, my daughter, so not the initial weigh-in, but the first week after doing it. My daughter and I were pretty excited because we both lost weight.
Yeah.
And so we're like, oh, we lost weight. And he comes like very skeptical and he like looks down at the scale.
Like, let me shake
and
this
he's
scale.
like, is this accurate?
He brings in a medical scale.
And he got on it. I don't know what he's comparing to. Like, does he weigh himself somewhere else? I don't know. But then he's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is good.
It's calibrated.
And the only reason I don't like to talk about this with him, like to really say, let me have you join my weight loss journey, is because then he gets very like, oh, you're gonna eat that? I thought you were on a diet.
But that's what I say. It opens
hey, you're not
that
my
door.
Calorie counter.
I think it opens the door where he can, which I think husbands should be able to do and wives should be able to do. But in this case, I know you don't like it. It opens that door for him to be judgmental in that way. Yeah. Like he can tell you, like, oh, really? Haven't you seen this part right here that you need to work on? Or
there was this one of my patients came like after a couple of years and she had lost like 70 pounds.
Oh wow!
And I'm like, oh my gosh, like you look great. Like, is everything okay?
Did she?
Sometimes
Did she look great?
Sometimes she was still heavy.
Okay.
Yeah. But she looked great. I mean,
her face had not dragged down.
She looked older.
Oh.
And then she let her grays now come out, and she was gonna embrace it. And I'm like, okay. But anyway, she was like, no, I decided to lose weight, and so my husband took a picture of, I think it was her and her sister, and showed him the picture, and she was like, like, why did you take the picture from that angle? Like, I look so fat. And she's like, my husband is the sweetest man in the world, has never complained about my weight, has never said anything, and he's slim. And she's like, he went to another picture that he had taken while I wasn't looking. And he said, look at this one. And she was like, what the heck? And he's like, this is what you look like. So I love you.
Was it better?
I know.
Oh.
and he was like, I
love you. So
the
first one had been
adjusted. Let me try to make you look slimmer. And she felt like it wasn't, but then he's like, let me show you this other one.
Yeah.
And he's like, I love you, but this is what you look like. And I'm okay with it. Yeah. But this is what you look like. And she's like, from that day on, I said, that's it. I'm done.
We need to take pictures.
Maybe. Yes. We should show everyone pictures because now I'm wondering what do people think we look like?
Well, I think we should take a picture, right? Like we should,
and then we show it again in 12 weeks for the world.
Yes, but what? No. Once we have the before and after, and then we can show like.
And what if we don't? What if we don't lose? If we don't lose weight, we don't show them. If you guys don't see,
what do we feel pressure for that? What do we feel like in 12 weeks?
Should we be in a bathing suit?
No, the world is not ready.
The world is not ready for that.
But we could do like a before and after, and then like do it. And what if we could encourage other people to do it?
Okay. Like, and then do we want to be like, have you ever seen before and after pictures? And it's like the before picture, they're like purposely making themselves look big.
No, we have to be in the same
outfit.
No, because I don't know if there's gonna be a difference. I think we need to be in the same posture, like, and not the same lighting, because I hate that one of them looks darker.
Yes, and then the after, and then they're like, you can tell they're sucking it in.
Yes,
like,
and it's bright.
Different angle.
Like, realistically.
Okay.
And also, people have to understand this. It's not, yes, our children are going to be different, and they're going to lose the weight differently. And I even tell my son, you're still at that age where your skin's going to pop back in.
Oh, yeah.
We are in the 40 and over club.
Yeah.
It's a 40 and overweight club. So if you're 30 or something, don't come at me like that. This should have been popped back in or anything like that. Because it's not.
But at 30 you can still do it. It's still going to be different than it was at 20. We were talking about this not too long ago about having children, how it changes your body. Yeah. And I felt so bad, but I'm like, let me tell you guys.
Yeah, you had a better body.
My body was so much better after I had my son. I
at 16,
and I went from being 115 pounds to being like 180 pounds. So
but in the right places.
that in my pregnancy.
Oh, okay.
And then after having John, I lost the weight without even trying. And then my body was like 20 times better.
Exactly.
But I was 16.
The metabolism is
I
very
literally,
different.
my stomach looked exactly the same, if not better. It was being 16. I had a baby at 28.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, she ruined me.
Well, I had a baby at 36.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how nothing is gonna
Nothing
go
goes
back
back.
in.
Yeah.
So if anybody knows of any ideas, anything that we should be taking so our skin kind of like
Goes back.
goes back,
Gets a little tight.
snaps
Any
back.
workouts for non-worker outers, you know, for people.
Sedentary. What is that called?
Sedentary?
It's a word.
Sedentary?
They ask you when
Lazy?
you go to the doctor. Well, that's what my daughter's all like.
Sloth.
She's all like, but are we lazy? I go, no, because, lazy people are happy. We're, like, not motivated to go exercise.
Yes. Non-motivated people, I guess is what we should say. And any, recipes or ideas on what to eat.
Yeah.
That too.
Like, should we go? I'm thinking of going keto. I've done keto before. It worked.
And I don't want to do any of that. Because unless you decide that you're going to be keto forever. And that's almost unrealistic.
And that's unrealistic.
Yeah, so I don't want to, again, I don't want to gain this weight back. Even if I just lose 15 pounds, I don't want to gain it back.
And if Peloton wants to sponsor.
Yes! Oh my gosh!
Please
I'd be
send me
all
one.
about it. I already have my spin shoes.
Yes.
So I'm all about it.
Because
Let's do
people are doing that right now and they're like really
it's,
into
again,
it.
it's expensive. It's
Very
easy to be
expensive.
thin if you have money.
Yes. How do you guys get all this? Is it financed?
No, Peloton might be because it's like in the
I
thousands,
think it
so
is.
could be, yeah.
It's like $2,000.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we will keep you guys updated on our journey.
Yes.
And
And
hopefully
we will post that before and
yeah,
after.
so hopefully soon after this episode releases,
Yeah.
you will see a picture of us
Yes.
and all of our glory.
I'm going to wear a muumuu.
I love muumuus. But we're going to go ahead and end this with a quote. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. Question you soon.
Till next time.